Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, do you have like a game plan of like, are you showing up there like a couple days earlier, or like how is that whole process going to work?
Yeah, so, getting my coaching schedule all rearranged and all that stuff, we have, uh, some really great coaches back home to be able to kind of fill in the blanks where we need it. Um, so I will go out on Tuesday, and then Wednesday will kinda be like a kinda like a freebie day, like, it's just, Wednesday, there's nothing going on there, and then Thursday's registration. It'll also be like a primer day, so I'll hit some fitness and stuff like that, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's head down and compete, and Monday, I'll come right back home.
Nice, nice. So,
Yeah,
do
so
you have a hotel room that's close to the convention center?
yeah, so I actually found, a place on I actually first found a place on Airbnb. It was, like, big enough to fit, like, 10 people. There's 6 of us that are staying in a room, or staying in a house. And then that place actually, like, last week, they just, like, immediately, like, canceled on me for no reason. Like, they didn't really give a reason. So I had to go on and find a new place. So I found a place on VRBO that was actually cheaper, and looks like the place was a little bit nicer. The amenities were nicer. So we're about a mile away,
Oh, that's
which
not
isn't
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and a lot of it is within walking distance, but I think my mom wants to get a rental car too. So I already ordered a rental car, got us a nice little minivan so we can, be, all fancy driving around. Um, so yeah.
So the minivan getting prepared for like later on in life, so you can like with the kids and stuff like that?
I will not drive a minivan. Hell no. If he wants to get me like a suburban or something like that, I'm in.
Yeah, my parents used to drive a mini. Well, actually, my mom used to drive a minivan, and
My mom too.
I'm like, oh my God, this thing's awful. So I mean, we had 4 kids, so I mean, you really had no choice to get something like
Yeah,
that.
true. I mean, minivans are like they're decked out, like they have space, but I will not drive a minivan.
They're not cool. They're not cool. So I remember
Unless
seeing.
you're rolling up to semifinals, then they're cool.
Yeah, true, true. Well, I mean, I remember seeing a commercial of a minivan. I think it was a Chrysler minivan where like this like purple like lights and smoke were coming out of the side, and all of a sudden like the door opened and like it was a flash of like a 3D animation like Panther on there, like trying to make it look sexy, and I'm like, it's not working.
You just
It's not
can't.
working. Yeah, and then I saw my neighbor have it, so and I'm like, okay, it worked for you then.
Sold. All right.
I was like, I can't do it. With semifinals, so what's the cutoff before people go to the game? Is it like 12 or because I think they said, didn't they say like if it was like a more of like a bigger stacked field, they'll let more people in. So what's the cutoff for the East
Yeah.
Coast?
So East is they have their equation that they use for I think they start with the 2020 games or 2021 quarterfinals. I don't remember or open. I don't remember where they have like their starting point for the equation that they use, but um the prediction was going to be somewhere in like the 10 to 13 range for North America East, which it ended up being 11.
Hmm.
So top 11 will go to the games.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
what is your goal? I obviously go to the games is the most important thing, but like, do you have like a set like goal that you like what place you want to hit there at all, or?
Um Not really. Like it's obviously like my goal is to qualify in the top 11, like whether it's first or 11th, like the goal is the goal. Um it's hard to, it's hard to predict against a field of athletes. Like I haven't competed against except whether it's at the games, really at the games. I haven't really competed against a lot of the girls that are in uh like this roster, like maybe 2 years ago or whatnot, but like a lot happens within a year or 2 years of progress for anybody, so it's
Hmm.
like it's hard to predict where you're going to sit in a specific field of athletes. um when I was at semifinals last year, like my goal was to be top 5 in every event, so that was kind of like a way of, I know maybe first place isn't in the cards or fifth place or whatever it is. Like I didn't care if it was first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. My goal is to be top 5 in all the events, and I knew that that would be enough to qualify.
Hmm.
Um, I had 3 events in the top 5, 3 events where I was 8th. So overall, the consistency was there. And that's my main goal when I'm like getting when I get to semifinals is to be as consistently high on the leaderboard as I can. So not a particular placement. I don't think that that kind of pressure is necessary to put on myself, but
Yep.
um, I think, you know, at this point, people know that I am a competitor and that I am a threat on that field, and that's really all that matters. So yeah, I am consistently looking to be as high as I can on leaderboard for every event.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and you don't want to be 11th too, because the whole time you're like, oh
It's
shit, like yeah,
that's pressure.
it's like even more pressure because you're like getting close to the end, and it's just like, okay, I really need to send it on this thing, and then like
Yeah,
you blow up, and then like whatever else happens, it's
right.
just a dumpster
Yeah,
fire.
right. Like that's definitely, you know, part of it too is you don't want it to come down to the last event. Like you want it like I want it to be a guaranteed I'm in that top 11.
Yeah,
But I mean, you can't predict how other people are gonna, you know, play, how the program is gonna kind of affect it. So there's just too many unknowns.
yeah. So what do you think of all these like 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds like coming into the female
Listen,
category?
I'm just here to keep the average age from dropping too low. Okay. I'm 31. I'll be 32 if I make it, you know, when I make it to the games this year. So it's like, um, I think it's really awesome. Like, you know, in the grand scheme of it, take the competitor out of me. I think it's so cool to see, you know, just how skilled these athletes are. Um, but I also, you know, on my side of it, like I'm at that upper age of like I'm pushing, you know, I have to do a lot more things to stay healthy probably than they do.
Hmm.
So, just it's a balancing act and it's, you know, the way, you know, a 19-year-old recovers is not the way a 31-year-old recovers.
No,
So,
no.
there's a lot of, you know, there's been a lot of wisdom gained in all these years too. So, um, a lot of learning lessons and figuring out what works and what doesn't and what keeps me healthy.